Once upon a time, under the quiet glow of the silver moon, there lived a gentle little bunny named Luma. Luma had soft, snowy white fur that shimmered like starlight, and eyes as kind as the evening sky. Every night, when the stars began to twinkle and the fireflies started their silent symphony, Luma would hop into the meadow filled with tiny glowing fireflies. In this meadow, the grass swayed like lullabies, and the flowers seemed to whisper stories to the breeze. But this was no ordinary meadow. It was the Garden of Dreams, a magical place that only opened when the stars twinkled above. In the day, it was just a field that everyone passed by without a second glance. But once the sun set and the first stars peeked out, the Garden of Dreams unfolded its magic. The flowers bloomed, the fireflies lit up, and the most wondrous creatures emerged to play. Tonight, however, the garden felt unusually still. The usually cheerful crickets were silent, the flowers were closed tight, and the fireflies hid among the leaves. A gentle breeze rustled through the tall grasses, making soft whispering sounds. Luma snuggled closer to a daisy, wondering where everyone had gone. Are they hiding a game? She thought, her nose twitching. Then, suddenly, the sweetest giggles echoed in the air. Luma turned around and saw a group of little angels with golden hair, twinkling wings, and sleepy eyes full of wonder. The K were playing hide and seek among the trees, and their laughter was like music to Luma's ears. "Lo, Bunny," whispered one angel named Amira, "we couldn't sleep tonight, so we came to play in the Garden of Dreams. Will you join us?" Luma's heart warmed. "Of course," she said softly. And together, the little angels and Luma began their gentle adventure. First, the angels led her on a merry chase around the blossoming fruit trees. The sweet scent of apples and pears filled the air, and the petals of fallen blossoms crunched softly beneath their paws and wings. Then they stopped by a babbling brook where the water sparkled like diamonds. The angels dipped their toes into the cool water and giggled as the tiny droplets flew up like sparkling rain. Luma watched them for a moment, then carefully hopped onto a nearby stone. "Do you want to see something magical?" asked Amira, her eyes twinkling. Luma nodded, and the angels flew in a circle around her, forming a shining ring of light. As they twirled, the petals from nearby flowers swirled around them, creating a beautiful, colorful dance. When they finally landed on the ground, catching their breath, Luma couldn't help but smile. The tea was the most enchanting thing she had ever seen. Suddenly, the sound of soft bells drifted through the garden, and a tiny glow appeared in the distance. "That must be Oriana," said one of the angels, her gaze fixed on the glimmering light. "She's waiting for us by the wishing star." Luma tilted her head in confusion. "Wishing star," she echoed. The angels took off again, and Luma hopped along as fast as she could. As they approached the light, they saw a small cottage made of glowing mushrooms and firefly lamps. In front of it stood a beautiful white horse with wings like spun moonlight. Coat shimmered like 1,000 stars, and her mane flowed like liquid silver. "Oh, Luna," whispered Luma, awestruck by the majestic creature. "Who are you?" The winged horse turned her head, and a gentle smile touched her lips. "I am Oriana," she said, her voice as sweet as moonbeams. "And this is my home." The angels crowded around her, each taking turns to stroke her soft muzzle or braid flowers into her flowing mane. Luma stood a little apart, still in awe, until Oriana turned to her with a kind look in her eyes. "Won't you come closer, little one, Tess?" she asked softly. Luma nodded and walked slowly towards her, reaching out a hesitant paw. Oriana nuzzled her hand, and a wave of warmth and happiness spread through Luma's body. "You're so beautiful," she whispered, her eyes shining with wonder. "Thank you," said Oriana. "Would you like to take a ride on my back?" Luma looked into the horse's gentle eyes and knew she was in the presence of something truly magical. "Yes," she whispered, her heart soaring with excitement. And with that, she climbed onto Ariana's back and snuggled close to her neck. The horse spread her wings, and with a powerful beat, they lifted off into the night sky. The garden grew smaller and smaller below them until it looked like a tiny patchwork quilt of colors. The stars twinkled merrily as if celebrating their flight. Ariana soared higher and higher until they reached a place where the night was filled with 1,000 points of light. "Where are we?" Luma asked, breathless with wonder. "This is the Sky Meadow," Oriana replied. "It's a place where dreams are born." Suddenly, a flock of winged horses joined them, each more magnificent than the last. They swirled and danced around the new arrivals, their laughter echoing through the star-filled sky. Luma had never felt so free and happy. Then Ariane slowed her movements and nuzzled Luma with her velvety nose. "It's time to go home now," she said softly. Luma felt a pang of sadness, but knew she had to return. With a final wave, she and Oriana began their journey back. As they flew over the Garden of Dreams, Luma saw that everything had changed. The flowers were closed, the fireflies hidden, and the magical lights had vanished. It looked just like an ordinary field bathed in moonlight. Gently, Oriana set Luma down near the daisy where they had first met. "Thank you for such a wonderful adventure," Luma whispered, her eyes shining with gratitude. "Any time, dear one," Oriana replied. "And remember, the Garden of Dreams is always waiting for you." With that, she spread her wings and vanished into the night sky, leaving Luma all alone in the silent meadow. As the first rays of sunlight touched the dew-kissed grass, the Garden of Dreams began to stir. The flowers unfurled their petals, the fireflies emerged from their hiding places, and the magical lights twinkled to life. Luma watched in awe as the garden transformed before her eyes, realizing that her adventure had only just begun. And so, day after day, whenever the moon hung high in the velvet sky, Luma would hop into the meadow and meet the little angels for new adventures in the magical Garden of Dreams. Together, they explored the whispering woods, raced along the river of rest, and played hide and seek among the glowing blossoms. The little angels, with their pure hearts and innocent laughter, taught Luma the joy of friendship and the wonder of believing in magic. And Luma, with her gentle kindness and unwavering loyalty, became the best friend they could have asked for. They shared secrets, dreams, and adventures, their bond growing stronger with each passing night. And as the years went by, the legend of the little angels and Luma became a tale whispered among the stars, a story of friendship, magic, and the endless beauty of the Garden of Dreams. The end.